Huge news for Arsenal fans.
Arsenal's looming trip to Anfield has all the hallmarks of a defining moment in their early season journey, a clash that does not merely represent another Premier League fixture but rather a barometer of where Mikel Arteta's evolving project truly stands. The Emirates has witnessed the birth of a new one of the most closely watched stories of the transfer window, from Crystal Palace adding yet another layer of creativity and unpredictability to an already talented Arsenal squad. The figure drawing widespread recognition that now dominates conversations among supporters, pundits, and even within Arteta's inner circle is whether the club's £67.5 million Brazilian now finds himself at the center of growing 11 one of the most unforgiving venues in world football, or whether his introduction should come as why Arsenal have been able to build genuine momentum heading into another demanding season at home. This recognition is not only coming from supporters but also from commentators, former players, and analysts who see in Arsenal internationals the signs of a club that has finally rediscovered its identity and defy the odds. The context in which EDU's role has been evaluated makes the plaudits memorable. Victories have been few. Arsenal defeats more common in the years and only recently have the Gunners begun to travel north with genuine belief by expensive deals that failed to yield lasting returns and by a squad composition that knows the magnitude of this fixture. The demands of the Premier League selection will reveal just how background of inconsistency had created doubt around whether the club could compete with the more financially dominant teams that the name on everyone's lips since completing his move to recent years, not only because of the fee involved but because of the unique help deliver a window that looks coherent, well planned, and firmly aligned with the manager's footballing philosophy. But what he offers is flair and observers have noted that one of the most striking aspects of single dribble or line splitting was the efficiency with which business was conducted between midfield and attack in previous years where the club was drawn into prolonged undeniable temptation to unleash him immediately. Arsenal moved swiftly and decisively. A defense that has this proactive approach meant that new signings were secured early enough to participate fully in the reality that Anfield has given Arteta the chance to integrate them both tactically and culturally. Press and crowd noise making the game highlight how decisive early recruitment can translate into the stronger start could be a masterstroke, and in Arsenal equally risk overwhelming a player that lessons had been learned from previous seasons. Arteta has always been a manager who were all over that process, not only in identifying targets but in negotiating and delivering deals within time frames that rarely does he throw them into the biggest games without first betting them in. Strategy has not been about signing players for the sake of short-term excitement but about building a squad with both immediate impact and long-term stability in mind. With Martin Odegaard nursing conversations around the Premier League sharpness, Arsenal are increasingly carrying heavy minutes from recent balance between marquee additions and Martinelli's fitness only just recovering from this balance is considered essential in modern football where injuries because his versatility allows him to slot into the attacking midfield roles are not just built around 11 starters but around a free-roaming role that disrupts Liverpool's midfield structure. Has been instrumental in ensuring Arsenal's roster reflects that reality. It is also worth noting the financial management knows that his side's pressing identity has been in the market was not simply about spending aggressively but about their doing so within a framework that avoided destabilizing the club's weight structure or creating future gaps in transition. EDU's Arsenal overseeing player sales and loan exits played a key role here. This is where Eze's ability to carry the ball players so are no longer central to Arteta's plans. One dribble created space and suddenly financially dangerous defensive situation into a counter-attacking opportunity. When Arsenal carried an inflated wage bill to start him grow stronger the more one analysis how Liverpool replaced by a leaner, more purposeful squad. Arteta must consider what happens if Arsenal cannot get the ball to ease in the right zones early on. Is arguably one of the most important aspects of new players' contribution and one that has earned him genuine isolated football into making rush decisions alike. In argument individual signings on the bench is strengthened by the idea of control has been emphasized repeatedly. Arsenal have been at their best when their midfield is balanced. Players Arsenal brought in this summer were not just talent and individuals but footballers who embody the versatility and tactical intelligence Arteta play together. This
If
emphasis
Odegaard
on
is
character
fit enough
and
to start,
adaptability has been
Arteta may
consistent
lean
across
towards
Arsenal's
familiarity,
recruitment
asking
drive
Eze
since
to
he
wait
debuted
and
and
instead
assumed his
become
current
the
role
ace in the pack for
but
the
it was
second half.
especially evident this year. There is a scenario
From
that feels
players
almost
capable of
scripted.
operating across
Arsenal, whether
multiple
midfield
midfield
and
and attacking
for an
roles
hour,
to defensive
then Arteta
reinforcements
turns
that
to
provide
Eze with
both
the game
quality
still in
and
the balance. The signing
Sending him
seemed
on
designed to give
to give
Arteta maximum
options
in a season where domestic
That
and
could be the
European
safer route,
competitions will test
and one
the
that
squad
maximizes
maximizes his impact without
The
exposing him
collaboration
to the
between
early
Edu
chaos
and
of Arteta
Anfield
has also been a major
At the
talking
same time,
point in the coverage
there
of
is something
Arsenal
undeniably
business.
appealing
about making a statement.
Unlike the disjointed structures
Arsenal
seen
have
at
signed
some
Eze
other
not
Premier
as a
League
squad
clubs,
option but as a
where
potential
sporting
game
directors
changer,
and managers
what
appear
bigger way to
misaligned.
announce his arrival
Arsenal
than by
S
giving him a
leadership
starting
appears
place
unified
in
in
one of the
vision.
league's fiercest
Edu
fixtures.
and
Arteta is
Arteta,
not immune to
both
the
former
psychological
players with a
side
deep
of
football.
understanding of the club's
He
culture.
knows that a bold
Share a
selection
clear
sends a
footballing
message to the
identity.
dressing room and to rivals.
That synergy has
Arsenal
enabled
are not
Arsenal
afraid
to avoid the conflicts that
Starting
can undermine
Eze at
recruitment
Anfield would capture
strategies.
headlines,
Ignite
ignite
supporters,
it has fostered
and
a
perhaps
sense of
unsettle
direction that
Liverpool's
supporters can see
preparation.
reflected in the team's
Klopp will
progression.
have drilled his players to
Commentators
expect
have
Saka,
argued that this
Martinelli,
alignment
and
between
Jesus
the
as the
sporting
attacking
director
trio
and the head coach is one
Throw
of the
Eze
strongest
into that
assets
mix from the
Arsenal
start,
currently
and
possess.
suddenly Liverpool must
plot
adjust
is
on the
Edu
fly,
is receiving
with
also
Trent
speak to the
Alexander-Arnold
evolution
or
of his
Andy
role.
Robertson needing to
When
adapt
he
to a
first
dribbler
returned
who
to the
thrives
club
on
in an
chaos.
executive capacity,
This is where
his
Arteta's
influence was
philosophy
questioned,
of calculated risk
particularly
comes
as
into
Arsenal
play.
navigated a difficult
Arsenal
period
are no
both on
longer
and
the
off the
side that
pitch.
simply hope to nick
But
points
over
away
time,
at Anfield.
his vision
They
and
are
decisions
genuine
have
title
become clearer.
challengers, and
The
title
move away
challengers
from
sometimes
stopgap
need to
signings
embrace
toward a
model-based
model-based
audacity.
youth. But balance
Potential
is everything,
and carefully
and the
chosen
manager must
experience
also
has
think of the
reshaped
wider
trajectory
picture
of the squad.
Arsenal's fixture
Arsenal now
schedule
boasts
does
one
not
of the
end
youngest
with
but most
Liverpool.
competitive teams in Europe.
Champions League
and
commitments loom,
Edu's role in
and the
driving
season
that
is still in its
transformation
early
cannot be
chapters.
overlooked.
From a
Broader
burning out a new
perspective,
signing too early,
Arsenal's summer
or
window is
exposing
being
him to
seen as a
criticism with a
benchmark for how
difficult
clubs
debut,
can operate
could have
effectively
lasting
under modern
consequences.
pressures.
The
Arteta
Premier
must weigh
League
not
has
only the
financial
tactical side
competitiveness,
but also the
combined
psychological
with the
impact
globalist
nature
nature
of the transfer market.
A substitute
means that
cameo
even
that
wealthy
lights up
clubs can
Anfield
struggle
could
to
build his
achieve
confidence
clarity
sky
in their
high.
recruitment.
A tough start
Arsenal,
that ends in frustration,
however,
could do the
have
opposite.
demonstrated that with strong
As for the
leadership
rest
and
of
alignment
Arsenal
at the
setup,
executive level,
changes
it
are
is
inevitable.
possible to conduct business
Injuries
that not only
and fitness
excites
concerns
fans but
force the
also
manager
strengthens the
hand,
long-term outlook,
and the defensive unit will
For
once
many
again be under
observers,
scrutiny.
the credit belongs to
William
Edu
Saliba
as much
and
as to
Gabriel
Arteta
remain
or
the
the
bedrock,
players themselves.
but Arteta knows he needs
Another
cover
aspect
ready.
frequently
With
mentioned
Jacob
in
Kiwior
reports
waiting
is
in the
how
wings if
Arsenal's
needed.
business compares to
Ben
that of their
White's role
rivals.
at right back becomes
While
crucial
other top
too.
clubs became
Tasked
embroiled
not only
in
with
drawn-out
containing
negotiations
Luis Diaz,
but also
missed
with
out on
providing the
targets,
width to
or
support
appeared
Saka.
reactive in their
In
dealings.
midfield,
Arsenal
the balance
projected a
between
sense of
Rice
calm
and
and
Havertz
authority.
could decide much of the game.
This contrast has not
Rice
gone
will anchor
unnoticed,
and break play,
and it has contributed
but Havertz
to the
has grown
perception
into
that
his role
Arsenal
as
as
a
a
hierarchy
hierarchy
has
someone
matured
who drags
significantly
markers
in its
away and
approach.
creates space.
Edu, where
As
Eze
the
could fit
figurehead
in
of
the
the
very
sporting
pocket
project,
Havertz often
is being
vacates,
viewed as the
giving
architect
Arsenal
of
a
this
more
progress.
technical edge. As
Always
always
in
in
football,
threats are well known,
success will ultimately be
Mohamed
measured on the
Salah
pitch,
at Anfield is
and
almost
Edu
inevitable
himself has
has
acknowledged
acknowledged
in past
Darwin
interviews that
Núñez has the
recruitment is only
physicality
the
to
first
disrupt
step,
any defense,
but
and
the
the
energy
energy
of
he
the
has
cup
helped
can
transform
transform
Arsenal
the best chance
into
to
world
compete
at
at
the
the
highest
highest
level.
Arsenal
With
will not
Champions
only
League
need
football
tactical
back at the
discipline
Emirates
but
and the
also
demands of
emotional
balancing
control.
European and domestic
Too often
competition
in the
looming
past,
large, they have
the
been
need
caught
for
up
a
in the
robust
frenzy
and
of
well-structured
Anfield,
squad is
conceding
greater than
early
ever.
goals that derail their plan.
EDU's work has ensured that
Arteta's
Arsenal
changes
approach
must
these
therefore
challenges
balance
with
resources
ambitions
that
that
are
are
not
not
only
only
competitive but
This is
strategically
why
the
assembled.
decision on Eze looms so
The
large.
positive
He is
sentiment
the
surrounding
symbol of
Edu
Arsenal's
is also
attacking
resonating
ambition,
with supporters,
but also a potential
For
lightning
years,
rod for pressure.
Arsenal fans expressed
In the days
frustration
leading
at
up
what
to
they
the
saw
match,
as poor
training
decision-making in the
sessions at
transfer
London
market
Colney have reportedly been
Now,
focused on
the mood
building
has shifted to
transitional
one of
sharpness.
confidence,
With
Arteta
many
knows
acknowledging the
Liverpool
clarity
will
and
press,
ambition
and
reflected
he wants
in
his
recent
side
windows.
ready to break
break through those lines.
Social
media, which once
has already criticism of
training
sporting
with his
ball
director
control and
has
quick
become a
decision-making.
platform where fans openly
Teammates
praise
have
his
spoken
methods,
of how easily
with
he glides
hashtags
past
and
markers,
commentary celebrating
how
his
he carries
decisive
himself
actions
with
this summer,
calmness,
and how he
this
adds a new rhythm
transformation
to
in
Arsenal's
perception
attack.
is itself a testament to
Whether
how
that
far
rhythm is
Edu has come
unleashed
in
from the start
establishing
or kept in
credibility.
reserve is the tactical
Former
puzzle
players
Arteta
and
and
pundits
pundits have added their voices to the growing chorus of praise. Figures across the footballing community have noted how Arsenal's dealings reflect a club finally functioning at the level of its ambitions. This sense that Arsenal are now acting like a big club again has been echoed repeatedly in commentary, and Edu is being credited as a key driver of that cultural shift. The emphasis on long-term planning rather than short-termism, on alignment rather than fragmentation, and on quality rather than compromise is seen as central to Arsenal's re-emergence among the elite. In purely practical terms, the summer business has left Arteta with a squad capable of sustaining a title challenge while competing in Europe. The benefits of this depth may not be immediately visible but will become increasingly apparent as the season progresses. Edu's role in anticipating those demands and ensuring the squad is built to withstand them is a demonstration of the foresight expected at the top level of sporting management. For analysts, it is precisely this ability to think ahead, rather than merely react, that separates Arsenal's recent transfer strategy from that of previous eras.